I wanted to talk about 3 ways to know that you've hired yourself a shitty personal trainer. When I first started personal training, I always used to get annoyed when clients would ask why. Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Why do you recommend that I eat this way? Why do you recommend I do the lunge this way? Why do you recommend that I do pull ups like this? Why can't I do it like this? And then I realized that this is the greatest thing that a client can do when they've just hired a personal trainer. There comes a point where you get enough answers, you build enough trust, you see enough results as a client that you begin to trust your personal trainer and the process. And that day will come, personal trainers, so don't get annoyed when they start asking you a whole bunch of whys at the beginning, but instead look at it as an opportunity for you to establish authority, establish that you know what you're talking about. And if you don't know the answer to some of the questions, it gives you an opportunity to tell them with honesty that, hey, I'm not exactly sure right now, but I'll go find out for you and we'll talk about it next week. So you've just learned and educated yourself because your client had a question that you didn't have an answer to, and that gave you a reason to go and educate yourself and make yourself better. So that was a little bit of a message to trainers, but I start the video off this way to talk about the importance of your client or your trainer knowing, number one, what the fuck they're doing, number two, why they're doing it, and number three, why those two things, before apply to you. So, one thing I put on this list is shitty personal trainers just make you sweat. And anybody on planet Earth, anybody on God's green earth can make you have a workout that makes you sweat, makes you feel like you're gonna throw up, makes you feel like you're gonna pass out, just makes you work hard. But the question at hand is, why are we doing this exercise? Why are we, training at this intensity every single time? Is this aligned with my goals? Is this aligned with where I'm at in my process? If I'm a 55-year-old who hasn't trained in 50 years or 40 years since I was 15, then maybe doing jump squats or jump squats and then going from jump squat into a box jump is not the most ideal for somebody who is training for the first time in 40 years. So the exercise has to be relevant to where you're at in your journey. How your training age is a better way, or what we call it in the industry. How long have you been training? How long have you been sedentary? What exercises have you been doing recently, or did you do in the past? What's your current health status in terms of, do you have diabetes, do you have asthma, do you have any heart issues or issues with your heart, or health in your family in the past, or um, you know the trainer has to know where you're coming from and set and build a foundation for you to start that's both safe, and has a path to progression from there. So if I'm starting you here, this is why I'm starting you here. This is what you're going to benefit from starting here, and this is where we're going to go because you've built the capacity here, right? It can't just be simply about making you sweat. I'm sure any of you guys or girls out there have been invited to the gym by a friend who is not a trainer, maybe doesn't have any specialty in training, but maybe just enjoys doing random workouts on the weekends, or likes to see YouTube challenges and then goes and challenges themselves at the gym and invites you to come with them. And the workout they put you through is not relevant at all to your health history, to your injury history, to your future goals, to your individual needs, to your current age, to your current training age, to your current capacity, but just that it's a hard workout and they wanted you to join and you went and you suffered and it was a hard ass workout, and now the workout's over and you go home and that's that. But how did you get better? Did you get better? Can you measure that you got better? Is there anything that was tracked so that next time you go to the gym you can try to improve upon what you did the time before? Was there any feedback from your friend or feedback from the instructor of the class, or feedback from the person who created the workout on YouTube to tell you whether you did something with poor form, or whether you did something in a way that gives you a higher risk for injury. I think you guys get the point right now. If they just make you sweat, they don't have a why, when, where, what. If they don't have the W's for the workout that you guys are going through, that's a sign that they're a shitty trainer. Number 2, they don't track anything. The best phrase that I heard when I first got into the industry was, what's not tracked is not measured. Okay? What's not tracked is not measured. And this applies to really all things in life. If you work for a company right now, let's just say you're a software engineer, and you're given a specific project to work on, right? And you don't track when you started this project. You don't track, what the project looked like, or you don't do, an assessment of what the current system looks like, or the current software looks like. If you don't track, how long has it taken other people in the past to finish this specific project, what's shitty about the system that's already out there that you're about to rebuild. Like, if there's nothing that's been tracked in the past, and you have no idea of what you're really trying to accomplish here, like, if you create this system or this software, is it better than the other softwares that are out there? I don't know, because I didn't know that there were other softwares out there, and I didn't have a strong understanding of what other softwares out there have already done. Was it finished in an adequate amount of time? So how long has it taken other software developers to build this? You don't know, because you didn't have a plan in the beginning, and you didn't have anything tracked or measured in the past. I think you guys get the idea of what I'm trying to say, but if your trainer's not tracking anything, and you don't know the direction you're going, you don't know where you started, how are you going to know if you've progressed? How are you going to know if this was a down week? I'll give you guys a perfect example, and then we'll move on to number 3. So today I had a client. She came in, she said she wasn't feeling that great from an energy perspective. She wasn't necessarily sick. She felt like she got good sleep. But as she was walking to the gym, she's just feeling a little bit more lethargic and tired than normal. I knew that, we do the same workout every Tuesday. We try to progress and get better at that workout, whether it's through load, volume, form, technique, control, whatever our form of progression might be, which right now it's currently volume. So we're just trying to see if, with the weight that we did last week, can we increase by 1 rep this week? And if we can across all 3 or 4 sets, then next week we'll try to increase the weight by 5 or 10%, right? So she came in today. She said she wasn't feeling that great. I said, okay, this is the weight that you lifted last week for this amount of reps. How about, instead of starting at that weight, we start at 5 pounds below that and see how you feel? She started at 5 pounds below that. She's like, honestly, that set was hard, but I still think I can do what I did last week. So I gave her that weight, and I said, how about we start at 10 reps instead of 12 reps? Again, we wouldn't know where to start or where to dial back if we hadn't tracked the sessions before. And if we come into the session and we're like, hey, fuck it, last week you did it, so this week we're going to go harder, and ignore the feedback she just gave me, and just get into it, and we don't know where to start because last week, say, we didn't track the weight or didn't track the amount of reps, and we just jump into a set, the likelihood of injury increases. We don't know if she progressed or regressed drastically, and we just have no idea of where we're at in the process, even though we might have been training for 8 weeks. So we need to track, okay? And then number 3, they care more about themselves than you. And really all I meant when I wrote this down was, if they're more worried about their notifications on their phone, about the text messages they're getting, if they're stepping out of your session to take a call, if they're saying, wait 1 second, I just got to text my doctor back, or text my girlfriend back, or text my friend back, and it's not an emergency, if they're, more focused on taking a video of you and trying to get the right angles, but they're not giving you any direct coaching, direct cues, direct feedback on how you're doing, or how it looks, or if you're not doing something properly, they're not saying anything because they're more focused on editing the video they just took of you so they can post it on Instagram. If they're more focused about asking you for reviews and not asking you how you feel the training's been going, or how you feel like you've improved, or have you seen any improvements, or they're not able to directly show you how you improved through what they've been tracking, then they probably care more about themselves and their business than they do about you. These are three things that I think kind of are telltale signs of shitty personal trainers, and I feel like I drizzled some other things in there. You guys drop a comment below on some of your worst experiences you've had with personal trainers and why. That way, when other people are trying to hire personal trainers and they watch this video, they can read the comment section and be like, oh, okay, so I don't want a trainer that does that. Well, why not? And they can ask questions and we can make more content that's helpful for people out there who are considering hiring trainers. With that being said, this is Coach Kyle Stifler from Foundry Health and Performance. Hopefully this video was helpful, and I'll talk to you guys later.